Hi everyone. So April is here, the sun is shining, it's amazing, and it looks like summer will be ahead. We want to go back and tell you a little bit about what happened in March because at Silver Burtnick and Associates, we want to make sure that we are your source for real estate information at Sotheby's International Canada. So let's dive into it now. Hey, it's Richard Silver from the Silver Burtnick Group at Sotheby's International Realty. I wanted to talk to you about April. We are here in April after a really busy March. We had Passover, Easter, Ramadan at the same time, and it was very busy with sales. Believe it or not, we are seeing a change in the marketplace. The marketplace is a lot busier. The issue again is lack of product. We just do not have enough product on the market. And so we're trying to encourage people to move ahead. Yes, the rates are higher, but there is opportunities. You can negotiate now, and it's a great time for you to look at buying. So the government has added some taxes, and I think it's very important that you get in touch or with your accountant, or you go to the CRA website, because there are some new taxes on what they call flipping. So if you buy a condo, your life changes, and then after the 5 years, if you buy a condo that's about to be built, after the 4 or 5 years, and all of a sudden you have access to it, and you no longer need it, or you can no longer use it, and you want to sell it, you actually have to wait until 1 year after you close on the transaction, not occupancy, but the closing. If you do not, you will be considered to be a flipper, and that means that you will be subject to a tax on the capital gain that you've made as if it was a business. So it's not a capital gains tax, it's a business tax. So it perceives that you are in the business of selling properties, of flipping houses. So I think you have to be very, very careful, those of you who have bought pre-construction and you're thinking about transferring the title before closing. That is also one where you're going to have to pay a tax on it now. So make sure before you even get into those thoughts that you have a conversation with your accountant. So the federal government recently added some additions or amendments to the foreign buyers ban. And the foreign buyers ban has been something that has been a bit of a boondoggle. I think it really did not have to come into effect. It's a very small part of our marketplace. However, they brought it in. Now, they are making amendments so that people with work permits, people who are permanent residents, there's all sorts of amendments now, and I think you're going to see more. And it is really a 2-year ban, which I hope will not be continued, because there are a lot of Canadians offshore who want to come back to live in Canada, and it just makes things look more complicated. It also gives people outside of Canada the view that we are not that we don't want immigration. And on one hand, the government is allowing, 400,000 or 500,000 new immigrants into Canada this year, but on the other hand, we're not allowing them to buy property. I'm not really sure how that works. Anyways, we'll see how it transpires over the next little while. So Silver Burtnick and Associates, myself, Jim, and our team have been doing some real estate reviews. So if you're concerned about what's happening in the marketplace, you want to sit down, you want to talk, do I renovate, do I, sell, buy something smaller, etc., we're happy to provide that, no cost to you. These are not market analysis of your house, so we're not going to talk about the price of your house or what it would sell for today, unless that's something you request. We would have to do a bit of a deep dive and more study to find out exactly what those prices would be. However, if you just want to talk in general about the marketplace, we're happy to do that. And those of you who have cottages up north or have places down south, we also have a lot of connections outside of Toronto where you have secondary properties, and we're the ones who can connect you with the best of the best in those areas, and those people can give you an idea of what your real estate portfolio is worth. Another thing that you may want to talk about or want to think about is when you find out, or when we can give you sort of an idea of the value of your house, is your house underinsured? It's one of those things you should review on an ongoing basis, because if you've been in your house for a long time and it is insured, you may find that you need to reinsure it. You may also find if you bought and you had title insurance, you may have to increase the title insurance because the values have gone up so much since you bought and you established the title insurance. So it's something that you should review on a regular basis with your home. A couple of years ago, I was contacted by a company that was doing a TV series called Smart Home Nation, and they asked me to give them information on one of the properties that we might have. So we talked about 90 Burndale. Now, this show has been shown in Canada and the United States, and it talks about smart home, and it talks about all the options that this house has. And it's really, really interesting because it's a colonial home built in 1835. It was owned by Joseph Shepherd, who, if you're a Torontonian, you know about Shepherd Avenue. So this was his house. He was a colonist living there in 1835. And the house at one point burnt. It was put back together. The owner of this house totally took the house. It was a board and batten shack pretty much, raised it, restored it, and then he put in all sorts of smart home fixtures, the blinds, the TV, the music throughout the house, the lighting throughout the house. And we were able, with the help of Smart Home Nation and my friend Tanya Memi, to show it on national TV. So it plays on national TV in Canada and the United States. So if you're interested in watching the video, just click here. Okay, so here's some team updates. Jim is just back from Africa, where he spent time in Namibia and Botswana and South Africa and had a great time in the bush. I am back from Puerto Vallarta, where we were renovating an apartment there for my later years. And we had, Mark is busy training again for another triathlon. He did one last summer. He's back at training again. Erin is doing more renovations to her house, and she did a bunch when she moved in. Now it's 2 years later, and she's doing another bunch. And Celia is busy. She has an 18-month-old and a 6-year-old, so it's never a boring moment at Celia's house. So this is the first time we're doing a video update. We do a newsletter every month, but we're going to do a video one now. So if you want to get notified of the next one, just click subscribe, and we will make sure that you get a notification that the next one is coming out. So in the meantime, we are always available for your questions. We want to be the source for you, and just contact us at any time, and we look forward to talking to you.